Hi there, I'm Sashi Sivaram Krishna and welcome to my course Macroeconomics, a Modern Money Theory Perspective. We are in part 1 of the course Macroeconomics and Money. In lecture 23, we will look at liquidity issues. In our previous lecture, we have looked at how entities might encounter a solvency issue or bankruptcy problem. In this lecture, we will look at issues related to liquidity. Liquidity is essentially a problem of cash flow. A company might be solvent, meaning that its assets exceed its liabilities. However, it might not have adequate cash in order to meet its immediate or short-term obligations. Consider, for example, a business with a balance sheet shown here. On its asset side, it has cash of 100. It has debtors who owe the money to the company, to this business, but they are due only in 6 months from now, and the amount is 500. On the right hand side of the balance sheet, you have the liabilities of this business. So as you can see here, this company may have taken a loan for 200 and therefore has a creditor which it has to repay in 1 month's time. This could also be a trade credit from a supplier, but this has to be paid by the business in just 1 month from now. Now this company is absolutely solvent. It has a positive and a fairly large net worth of 400. That is the amount by which the assets exceed the liabilities. So this company faces no solvency issue. However, it faces a liquidity problem. It has to repay its creditor 200 rupees or $200 1 month from now. It can use the cash it has on hand of 100. But how will it repay the remaining 100 to its creditors? Because the money from its debtors are likely to come only 5 months after this. And therefore, this company will face a liquidity problem after a month. It will not have enough cash on hand to discharge its obligations to its creditors. Very often businesses actually fail because of liquidity issues rather than solvency issues. Liquidity issues are especially important to entities in the financial sector, including banks. We saw in our last lecture how NBFCs in India faced a severe liquidity crisis when the pandemic struck. Let us now look at the case of banks. Banks usually have short-term creditors or depositors. These are people who might want to withdraw the money in their deposits on short notice. Its debtors, the bank's debtors, are the entities to which banks usually give out loans, and these are typically for a longer duration. Here is a typical balance sheet of a commercial bank. You can see from the balance sheet as to whether the bank has a solvency issue or whether it has a liquidity issue. And if it has a liquidity issue, how can it manage this problem? This is a typical balance sheet of a commercial bank with cash of 100, loans given out by the bank which has assets, financial assets of 500. It holds government bonds of 200. It has reserves at the central bank of 150, and on its liability side it has depositors. These depositors hold 600 rupees or $600 worth of deposits at the commercial bank, and the commercial bank has a positive net worth, meaning that its assets exceed its liabilities by 350 rupees or dollars. Is this bank solvent? Yes. It has a positive net worth. Its assets exceed its liabilities. So there is no problem of solvency or bankruptcy. But look at the liquidity issue. Usually depositors will not come all at once and ask for their deposits to be turned into cash. It's very unlikely. Nonetheless, it is possible that such a situation might arise. Does the bank have adequate assets which can yield cash so as to meet the desires of the depositors? It has 100 rupees in cash, it has bonds of 200, and it has reserves at the central bank of 150, which can be converted into cash on very short-term notice to the central bank. So its total liquid assets are 100 plus 200 plus 150, which adds up to 450. But the depositors are 600, which means that if depositors want more than 450 rupees or dollars converted into cash, this bank will face a liquidity issue, although it faces no solvency issue. But banks have to operate keeping in mind liquidity issues and not just solvency issues.